Hello again, you're still watching Joy News Prime, and we are back to do the second half of business. Have you ever wondered what will happen when you retire and have no regular source of income? When your days of active work comes to an end, what will become of your financial life? Well, I think that's where pension comes in. But how does Ghana's pension scheme work? Find out in this edition of Joy Businesses, breaking it down with Philip Nanfuri.
Hello and welcome to Joy Business, breaking it down, where we make complex, everyday topics simple and add a bit of funk for you to understand it. My name is Philip Nanfuri. We're going to talk about pensions, and in the past days, we've been talking about Tier 3 pension schemes in the informal sector. What's that about? What are pensions? I know when I'm 60, by God's grace, there should be something put away for me to dwell on so that I don't have to work every day. And by 60, you are done with work. I want to talk to Raymond Labi. He's the one in charge of the operational aspects of HR in the multimedia group, and he's going to tell us what exactly the pension regime in Ghana is all about. He will give us good education, because I hear there's a Tier 1, there's a Tier 2, there's a Tier 3. I really don't know what it's about. So Raymond Labi will do the explanation for us. Join us. So we're here with Raymond Labi, and he's going to tell us all about pensions. Raymond, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Philip.
So first question, only question, simple question. What is pensions and what is the pension regime in Ghana like?
Thank you very much, Philip. When we talk about pension, then we are talking about retirement income security for workers, either in the formal or the informal sector. So when you retire, would there be enough funds available for your own use? And that is what pension is all about. Our scheme, or the pension scheme in Ghana, is contribution based. So the two key parties to the relationship for those in the formal sector, employer and employee, they both have to what? Contribute to see to the welfare of the worker on the assumption of retirement. But for those in the informal sector who are self-employed, it means that they are solely in charge of the contribution towards their retirement. And when we look at pension, with the passage of the Act 766, it became a three-tier scheme where the first two became mandatory. It means that if you're a worker within the formal sector, it is obligatory for you, the employer, and the employee. But they brought in a third tier, which became voluntary for both those in the formal sector and those within the informal sector. So for retirement, we are looking at three levels. Tier 1, mandatory, Tier 2, mandatory, and Tier 3, voluntary. And then the law has given the levels to different entities to manage. So when we look at Tier 1, we call it Social Security. And we are all very familiar with the big entity called SSNIT. So they have been given the audacity and the mandate to manage Tier 1 scheme. So anybody who is in formal employment, once you start work, then the contribution starts. So at the end of that particular month, the employer will have a certain percentage of your base salary to contribute to you towards your pension. Then you, the employee, you're also mandated to contribute a certain percentage of your base salary towards your retirement. Okay, so this contribution, if you look at it in financial terms or in percentage terms, it's for the employee 5.5. Then for the employer, it is 13%. So when we add the two, it becomes 18.5% of your base salary. There might be other allowances, but then the pension is not paid on the allowances, but it's focused on what we call base salary. Some might say basic, but the right word is base salary. So the 18.5 is what the two parties will contribute towards pension. So what happens to the 18.5? The law says that part of it should go to Tier 1 scheme, and part of it should go to a Tier 2 scheme. So the Tier 1, which is managed by SSNIT, will receive 13.5% out of the what? 18.5%. This 13.5%, SSNIT is mandated to retain 11% of that 13.5, and it is invested and becomes part of the pool of resources that will be used to finance your retirement life.
So it's not as simple as just increasing your salary and making sure that by the time you are 60, something is going to happen. So I was about to ask Raymond for an increase in my salary, but I have many more years to work by God's grace. So I'm sure we've broken it down for you. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, for both the formal and informal sector. Tier 1, Tier 2 goes to the formal sector. Tier 3 can be both formal and informal. And that's basically the pension scheme right here in Ghana. This has been Joy Business, breaking it down. Goodbye.
Interesting conversation. So now you know about the pension scheme, and Philip was asking for increment in salary. Maybe I'll follow suit as well. But in other news tonight, we want to look at the commodity markets, where crude oil traded at $63.37 a barrel. Gold went for $1,417.76 an ounce. Details of trading activities on the commodity markets is next. Wrap up tonight on Business with me, Sandra Esenam Apen. You can get more news on our website, myjoyonline.com.